Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Enjoy the Life You're Living. I'm your host, Jana Rieger, and today I'm here with DJ Fritzges. DJ, it's so awesome to have you here with us today. You have such an interesting background. You are a mental health advocate, you're a musician, and you're a meditation teacher. So there's lots that we're going to learn from you here today, and just welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Excited to be here.
Yeah, for sure. So, DJ, I love to start with people's stories. I think that's the most interesting thing in life. So, I'd love to hear a bit about your story and how your life took you on this journey into being a mental health advocate and a meditation teacher and a musician.
Surely, surely. I started out experiencing anxiety in elementary school, and I didn't want any attention. I didn't want to be called on, all those types of things. My face would get red. I'd get very embarrassed, even if I knew the answer. It didn't really matter. It's just the attention I didn't really want,
Yeah.
and it just continued to progress throughout schooling. So like I hit middle school and my family decided to move and we changed counties basically. So it was a whole new school, a whole new group of friends. And I started to experience depression now. And I was
Mm.
not wanting to get out of bed, not wanting to hang out with friends or do any of the things that I loved. And I just started watching myself and I noticed, all right, now I'm getting more anxious and I'm feeling depression. And then I kind of hit high school and I had both pretty badly.
Mm.
And it was to the point where if I had to show up and speak in front of class, I just didn't show up. It was that
Mm.
simple. I wasn't coming to school that day. I couldn't handle it. Back when I went to high school, we wore our keys on our belt loops. And if it was like the type of situation where I didn't know I had to get up in front of the class and I did and I was there, my face would get beet red and I would start shaking and like you could just hear my keys jingling the whole time. Um, so it was kind of funny looking
Uh,
back at it now. Uh,
yeah.
and then in 10th grade in high school, soccer was my life since I was like 3 years old.
Mm.
And in 10th grade, I was playing for my high school team, and I suffered a kind of freak incident where a guy had a breakaway, and I was playing defense, and I stuck my foot out, and I like kicked the ball, and he kicked my foot.
Mm.
And when he kicked my foot, it destroyed the joint that controls my ankle.
Mm.
So I ended up, it basically ended my soccer career right then and there. Uh,
Yeah.
and then I started having surgeries in high school to try to fix my ankle and was homeschooled for most of my senior year and just things like that. And it just kept progressing to where, now I've had 20 surgeries. I've had a below
Wow.
the knee amputee. I'm a below the knee amputee. I struggled for 22 years with chronic pain to the point where I started passing out from pain, and my wife was finding me unconscious around the house. And it
Wow.
all played into my mental health too, because you're in pain, you're not sleeping, you're not eating,
Mm.
and all these things it just created a cycle that I was like kind of stuck in with pain, feeling nauseous, not eating, not sleeping. I couldn't exercise. It got pretty bad.
Mm.
And um finally I decided to have my go and see about amputation, and they told me it was really my only choice. And I've now been 3 years as an amputee, and my quality of life is much, much better now.
Mm.
I can keep up with my 3-year-old daughter,
Mm.
and that's really the most important thing.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
basically, when soccer was taken away from me, I needed an outlet, and I got into music. I became
Mm.
a guitar player, and then from there, I started my first band, and we couldn't find a bass player, so I decided to pick up bass, and it really stuck with me. I was like, man, this is kind of what I feel like I was missing. And then I joined a band called Fiction 20 Down
Mm.
and toured around the world, or around the United States, I should say, for like 7 years. We got to do a lot of really cool stuff, a lot of festivals and things. We were like a reggae rock band.
Nice.
Um, During that journey, all throughout this time, I was struggling with anxiety and depression still, and dealing with chronic pain. And I think I was really just looking for a quick fix, like, hey, just make me better. Like
Yeah.
going to my doctor and just like, hey, what can you do to make me better? And so they tried me on a couple different medications, which I'm not against medication at all. But for me, it started to take me further away from myself.
Mm,
And I started to notice like I went from feeling maybe too much to not feeling anything at all.
mm,
And so I ended up coming off the medication. And basically in 2014, we were on tour, and I have two band brothers, Jordan and Andre, and we lost Jordan's father to a battle of depression, and it
mm.
ended in suicide. And we were on tour in Florida, and we came home, and we kind of broke up as a band for a little while. And when we got
Mm,
back together, we talked, and we were like, I was like, guys, I struggle. I've struggled for a long time, you know.
yeah.
And we just kind of went from there. And Jordan, the singer in the band that I play in, he was in Fiction 20 Down. These are the same guys I've played with the whole time, basically.
Yeah.
He started a mental health journey where he started meditating every day.
Mm,
That's kind of what showed me, hey, if he can do it, I should
mm,
do it because I felt like I had a lot of the same mental health struggles that he did and stuff.
yeah. And so when you were going through this as a teenager in school, did anybody know? Were you able to talk to anybody about it, or did you just like hold it inside?
I didn't really talk to anybody, but I didn't really know what to say. I didn't know how to describe how I was feeling. I
Yeah.
also didn't know other people, were in similar situations or worse situations, and I kind of just honestly I don't know what I thought. I
Mm,
I just kept trying and hoping that things were going to get better.
yeah. And so now I know that you're the group that you're with, Big Infinite, that's your new band.
Yes.
Well,
We
not
changed
really new
names.
band, you
Yeah.
just changed the
Yeah.
name. You guys do a lot of work with high schools around mental health and also a group called the ED Lally Foundation. So I'd love to hear more about those things that you're doing.
Yeah, so basically when we got back together and we talked, Jordan, his last name is Lally, and
Ah,
he let us know that he was creating a nonprofit based off his dad's name, and it was going to be a proactive mental health approach. And we were like, that sounds awesome. That sounds really cool. And then he was like, and what I was thinking with the band is like we could create a program and where we could go to schools and we could not only talk to the kids, but we could play music to, it's kind of like if we don't get you with talking, we're going to get you in the fields with the music.
mm,
It's just a way to connect with people on another level. And so he ran that by us, and it was different at first. It was like, okay, like, we're going to be going from festivals to cafeterias and cafetoriums, and we've seen some different things now, but I wouldn't change it for a minute. I told him, I was like, if I can make one person not feel like I did, like
yeah.
that's a win. So, um, it's been really cool. We have a program. It's called the Power of Expression, and we do middle school, high school, college, and military bases. And then we
Mm,
also do community events, of course. And we just created a elementary program as well. So
wow.
we'll be able to hit every age group and start talking about mental health.
Amazing. That is so great. And when you're interacting with the kids in the schools, has there been what do you hear from them?
It's been really amazing. We all get students coming up to us afterwards, and they ask us questions and they tell us how they could relate. And we do a Q&A section during the assembly where we open it up and you can ask us anything. They can ask about my leg, they can ask about the band, they can ask about mental health. And we get so many questions of kids that are concerned about their friends, their family, and it's
Mm,
good to see.
mm, yeah, that's really fantastic. And now you yourself, you're a certified meditation coach, correct?
Yes.
So tell me about how that whole aspect of your life fit into your development on this journey.
So basically watching Jordan go from, feeling like when he was on stage, he was nervous and anxious, to seeing him a lot more confident, a lot more relaxed. It made me want to step in to the same thing. And so I started my meditation journey, and I feel like there's so many different ways to meditate
Mhm.
that, you kind of have to try them all and
Yeah.
see what works for you. And like for me, I really connected with like frequencies and
Mhm.
Schumann resonance.
Mm.
Enjoy listening to that. Just different things like that. And then I started getting into breathing exercises, and then I found the breath device, and
Ah,
that was the game
yeah,
changer.
you're talking to a convert, obviously, and something close to my heart. So why don't we just go there right now? And I'd love to hear about your experience with breath, breath work in general, and how it relates to meditation, but then also with breath and how you've found that to influence your journey in this.
Totally. So breath work I think is amazing because you can do it anywhere. And just like the breath device, I mean, it can be done anywhere, anytime. And it's simple. It's something that can take you from feeling a certain way to bringing you clarity, to bringing you calmness. And I absolutely love it. And I found that box breathing is probably one of my favorite breathing exercises. And
Mhm.
then when I got the device, the first thing I did was box breathing. And it actually, I only did 3 minutes, and it took me, because of the vibration from the device and it was stimulating my vagus nerve, I felt like the 3 minutes felt like maybe 20 minutes without the device.
Hmm.
I feel like it like took me to a higher level in a quicker amount of time.
Hmm. Well, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Um, and and you being a musician, and so vibration and frequency and that, do you think that that had any influence on how you relate to using the technology?
Yeah, I definitely do. I love, bass vibrations, and I love technology. I'm like a big technology nerd kind of guy. And like I show up at band practice, and the guys told me the other day, they're like, we just need to do a segment in the first 10 minutes of band practice where you just show us all your cool stuff. And so I'm always into technology and different things, and this is the first meditation technology that I found that I think has been a complete game changer.
Oh, that's fantastic to hear. What do you say to people who are maybe experiencing anxiety, chronic pain, and they're a bit hesitant to get into holistic wellness type of practices or use technology for that? What would your advice to them be?
Keep an open mind. Things uh it's not an easy fix, the meditation route, but it's something that works, and it's something that, your brain is malleable, and you can change the way you think and the way it works. And we should treat the brain more like the heart, um, where we know that, exercise helps the heart stay healthy, and we need to exercise the mind and be mindful and do breathing exercises and meditations to be able to, keep our brain healthy.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on now, not frequency as in vibration, but the frequency of doing these practices?
Um, in my opinion, it's better to meditate for, even 1 minute a day and do it consistently daily than to just do like one 15-minute meditation, like a week or something like that. Consistency is important. What I like to tell people is like, hey, you have a routine when you wake up. Maybe you shower, you brush your teeth, you eat breakfast, drink coffee, whatever. Add a 5-minute meditation to that morning routine.
Yeah. So Nesta, we're happy to meet Nesta here. No problem. She can be part of the conversation. There because there is something about animals as well in terms of mental health, I think, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on how animals fit into that.
Animals are wonderful. I mean, they can sense things that, we don't know. And like I was passing out from pain, and my dog picked up on it and started telling me, hey,
Yeah.
you're gonna pass out. And she would come up and bark and jump at me, and I knew to lay down. before I passed out.
Yeah, that's
And
amazing.
yeah, she's my first dog. I've had her for 6 years and changed my life.
Yeah. And DJ, was she trained to do that, or it's just
She
something
was not. It
instinctually?
was something she picked up, and then we had her trained to know that if she has a service vest on, to, not pay attention to other dogs and to kind of act a little differently than she would otherwise.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. So, okay, back to let's see about the band. Let's talk a little bit about that. Big Infinite. So, first of all, I love the name.
Thank you.
How did you guys come up with that?
Jordan came up with it, and it was basically there was a song, from my understanding, there was a song that we wrote as Fiction 20 Down, and it talked about how the infinite's big and all this stuff, and he basically pulled it out of that. And it turned out being the better name. I think I was pushing for something crazy like Suburban Gangster or something like that, which wouldn't have worked out too well showing up at schools.
Right? Oh, that's excellent. And you have a new song. It's called One Song.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
so tell me about that and the meaning behind it.
It's a song about community and just letting everybody know that we're all in this together. And
Mm.
one song, we can all sing it together. We can all come together. We can just, you know,
Yeah, come together as the human race, and it's a great song. It's really catchy. I love it, and
thank you.
so I'm excited for you guys to be sharing it with the world. And so, on the topic of songs, is there one song that you always go to as a pick me up?
I wouldn't say there's a particular song per se, but I think reggae music is what I like, and it always gets me in a better mood. It gets me moving and kind of vibing,
Yeah,
in a better space than I was before.
yeah, for
I
sure.
highly suggest checking out reggae if you haven't.
Oh yeah, no, it's awesome, isn't it? And is there what's next for the your band, Big Infinite and
So actually, this Friday we have a big benefit concert for the Ed Lally Foundation that we're putting on in our home state of Maryland, and
hmm,
it's like I think we're playing 18 songs, so it's going to be a really fun night. We got a bunch of special guests coming out, guitar players, pianists, celloists. So it's going to be a really cool special night, and from there we're just going to be we like to every summer we kind of revamp the power of expression assemblies
hmm,
and try to make them better and more engaging however we can. And so I think we'll just be working on a lot of that. We have a couple more songs to release throughout the summer. And we kind of took a step back from the band to do the mental health stuff.
yeah.
And we kind of put the band on the back burner, I'd say. And it wasn't until about a year or two ago that we were like, hey, we can do both. Like we
Hmm.
can release new music and be a band and also do mental health. So we're trying to do like a more 50-50 um, type thing. So we'll see how that
Wow,
goes. So far, it's going well.
that is so great. And with the foundation, what do the proceeds from the money that you raise, how are they used within the foundation?
So they will be used so they can go towards the power of expression at a school or community event. And then we also run some support groups. We have a
Hmm,
suicide bereavement loss group, and we have a men's group, a women's group, and we offer Tai Chi weekly, and
hmm,
Tai Chi is virtual. And like the men's group is hybrid, so you can join virtually or in person. And then our women's group and the suicide loss group, they're currently only in person.
hmm, hmm,
But we do that, and then we offer workplace wellness for businesses where we come in, we do a mental health training and stuff like that. Myself and the drummer in the band, Andre, we're both QPR certified instructors. So
hmm,
we go in and teach QPR, just different things like that. We just try to bring wellness to the community and to anyone we can meet. We also back during COVID, because we couldn't have obviously go to schools any longer, we recorded the program to have a virtual version that we could still get to the schools. and a big time producer in well, I'm not sure where he lives, so I'm not going to say that part. But he reached out to us and he was like, "Hey, like I really love what you guys are doing. I would really love to turn this into a documentary." And his name's Greg DeCherry, and he actually turned the whole thing into a documentary that we released about 3 years ago, I believe. And we've won like 3 awards from it, and it's been really cool.
That's amazing. That's really fantastic. You mentioned QPR.
Yes, question, persuade, refer. It's basically like a CPR protocol, but it's for mental health. So you ask the
Huh.
question. A lot of people think that asking, are you thinking about suicide? Are you thinking about harming yourself? A lot of people tend to think that that may put the idea in their head, but
Mm,
studies show that it doesn't. And, more times than not, that person will then open up and start to tell you maybe what they're going through.
mm,
And so your role in the persuades part is basically just to listen, and you're trying to be a friend and be there for them.
mm.
And the refer part, you're going to want to refer them to like 988, or a therapist or anything like that, depending on the situation. Like it could be a parent, it could be, something like that. And
Mhm.
just try to get them the help they need and take the step to maybe even ask, like, hey, I'll come with you to this appointment or something like that. Like just showing them that you're there for them, but you're not
Yeah.
actually there to diagnose them or anything like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Got it. And what has the uptake in the workplace been like for
It's been
the,
really good. We've done multiple workplace wellness programs, and it seems like it's very well received, and the people seem to enjoy it. And sometimes some of the people know some of the stuff, but not everything, and other times it's all new information for them.
yeah, for sure. It's definitely an area where people are paying more attention these days, in terms of keeping people healthy in a workplace. And
Yeah, 100%. And one other thing I wanted to share about the Power of Expression Assembly is it's a very powerful part of the program. We
mm,
do a survey during the assembly, and it's a stand up, sit down,
mm,
but we take the person out of the equation. So we ask the question in a way like, do you know someone who has experienced anxiety or depression?
mm,
Stuff like that. And you get 90% of the people standing up to almost every question. And then we have them look around to see that, okay, everybody seems to know someone who's in here. And then hopefully they'll all, go about their day with more kindness and compassion.
yeah, for sure, for sure. So, one question that I always ask all my guests, DJ, is what does the phrase enjoy the life you're living mean to you?
It means to me, I'd say that just means go to the flow, go with the flow.
Yeah.
Enjoy everything, the good, the bad. Feel it, let it go. And the most important thing in life is to enjoy it. So,
Nice. Yeah, I love that. Feel it, let it go.
yeah,
Amazing.
the band has a song called Won't Let Go, and there's a piano in it. It's a very softer ballad, and the lyrics in there talk about feeling it all and letting go. And I think that's important in the whole healing journey and mental health journey.
Yeah, for sure. DJ, if people want to find your music, where can they find it?
So our website is thebiginfinite.com, and we are on all major streaming platforms, The Big Infinite, or just Big Infinite, I should say. And yeah, we're on Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube, all of the Amazon, all of them, I believe. So you can
Nice.
find it anywhere, and I hope you enjoy it and stream away.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And can people, if there are schools or workplaces that want to connect with you guys, is that the place to go as well to,
So they can go there, and I believe our websites are linked to each other. So like if you go to
okay,
the Big Infinite, you can get to the edlallyfoundation.org,
got it.
and vice versa. So we try to keep it to where, if you're looking at one, you can see the other.
Nice.
But
That's
yeah,
fun.
if you'd like to book a presentation, please reach out to Ed Lally Foundation, and it's just edlallyfoundation.org.
Nice. That's great. Well, thank you so much for your time today in this conversation and for everything that you're doing to spread the word around anxiety and depression, especially with the young people. I mean, I think that, um, there's a lot of stresses that kids are under, and they might not know how to talk about that or express it or even what to do about it. And so the work that you guys are doing is amazing to bring awareness to it and even just that, opening up that door for them is a relief for many, I'm sure. So congratulations on
Thank you.
doing that. It's
And
amazing.
likewise, I mean, your device is absolutely amazing. I've noticed that my stress levels have dropped about 12 points since I've started using the device, and it's just stayed down, which
Yeah.
is great. It was
Wow,
something that I was kind of struggling to get my stress levels down. So
that's fantastic. That's awesome to hear. We
yeah,
love hearing that, DJ. So that's our mission, so thanks so much for sharing that.
of course. Thank you
Awesome.
for having me.
You're welcome.